evening, everyone. On behalf of the City of Kenner, Mayor Michael Glazer, the City Council, welcome to Ed Daniels Field. We especially thank you to everyone here from Bonneville High School and Kenner Discovery. And to open our presentation this evening, please join me in welcoming Kenner Mayor Michael Glazer.
Thank y'all for coming. This is a very special night for the City of Kenner and the Daniels family. Things like this don't happen every day where we name fields or facilities after a person. It means you have to be special, you have to have made a lasting impact on athletics in the New Orleans area. With that, we have Kenner's own Ed Daniels, who actually lived right down the street here. This was his kids' park. This idea of dedicating this field in his honor was actually, I think, it was Charles's idea. Charles worked with him now for 13 years on Friday Night Football. We got another Bobby O'Shields, another Kenner employee that worked even longer with him in the media. But it doesn't happen without the City Council. When the idea came to me, we put it on the agenda. All the council members behind me signed on as co-authoring this legislation. So I'm going to introduce them. We have Councilman George Brannigan. This is his park. His kids, he kind of built this park. So he's the godfather of Muss Bertolino. Councilwoman Christy McKinney, Council at Large. Councilwoman Dee Dunn. Almost said Councilwoman. Councilman Ronnie Shorwath. Councilman Brian Brennan, Councilman Tom Wilmot, and Fire Chief Terrence Morris. It doesn't happen without these guys voting to name this football field in Ed Daniels' honor. And just a couple of comments about Ed Daniels that you probably don't know if you didn't know him or hear about him. He was passionate about high school athletics. Friday nights usually were just the families come out and play sports and you just go home and relive it in your family. He put it on the news media. He grew it into a market where these kids, after they play football on a Friday night, they would run home to see if Ed Daniels was going to cover them on TV. So he did it. He was a 3-time Louisiana Sportscaster of the Year. He had a vote in the Heisman Trophy. You know what the Heisman Trophy is, so he had a vote in that, in the Wooden for the basketball award. So he was a very big deal in Louisiana athletic sportscasting. So with that, thank everybody here for coming out tonight, and thank the council for voting on a 7-0 vote naming this after Ed Daniels.
At this time, we ask Ms. Robin Daniels and Ms. Erin, his daughter, who are going to have a couple of comments.
On behalf of all of our family, we'd just like to say thank you to the City of Kenner, to Kenner City Council, and also to the Bertolino family. We get to share this honor with.
Thank you to the Bertolino family, the City of Kenner, the Kenner City Council, Director of Parks and Recreation, Charles Alon, Robert O'Shields, for honoring my father in such a meaningful way this evening. Not only was he born here, but he chose this city and this neighborhood to raise his own family. My siblings and I had the opportunity to play ball at many of Kenner's esteemed parks and playgrounds, but Muss Bertolino was our home. To have this field named after him is a testament to his lifelong passion, youth sports, and to his commitment to serving his community. Dad, I know you're up there with Muss beaming down upon us this evening. You should be proud of the many people you have touched and the careers of athletes, journalists, and others that you have so positively impacted. This is your legacy, and you will forever be an inspiration to us and the future generations that visit Ed Daniels Field.
We'll have a brief announcement, but we wish everyone to enjoy a tribute video at this time on our brand new video board.
If you'd asked Ed Daniels, what's the secret to a happy life? Is it focusing on your career, your family, your faith? Ed would have surely said all of the above. And that's how he lived. As a native son of the New Orleans area, Ed appreciated what life here brought him. He graduated from Archbishop Rummel and then Loyola University. He was the most senior member of WGNO News, serving as our sports director since 1992. That was before the station became an ABC affiliate, and it was during those years as an independent station that Ed created a program that became one of the greats in New Orleans sports journalism, Friday Night Football. For 32 years, Ed used the program to focus on what he thought was most important about sports: the local teams, players, coaches, and their accomplishments. He was so proud of the high school baseball and basketball tournaments he organized, and he loved reporting on the pros, too. Not only could his questions be tough, so could his editorials. Ed was in that club of sports fan who watched games at both two-lane stadiums, the original and the new. He knew firsthand what it was like for New Orleans to watch the Superdome rise to initially revitalize Poydras Street and then help a city rise from its knees after Hurricane Katrina. In fact, after the storm, Ed helped lead the WGNO News team through some of our most difficult days. We worked months without a newsroom due to the storm, and Ed was by everyone's side covering the news stories in the early days of the recovery. He also loved Carnival, and Mardi Gras morning, Ed was a regular along the Metairie route. The Saturday before, he relished his rides with the crew of Endymion. Besides journalism, the other love of Ed's life was his wife Robin and his children and grandchildren. He adored them. He shared with us how he found strength in his faith and cherished singing in the choir at his church, St. Philip Neri in Metairie. As serious as he could be, Ed also loved to joke and laugh. In the newsroom, if you told Ed a good joke, he might walk by your desk and chuckle for days, repeating the punchline.
Ed, one of the legends in broadcasting here.
New Orleans has lost a legend. Ed Daniels was the most important and impactful person who ever walked through the doors to work at WGNO. Those of us who are fortunate enough to know him will do all we can to measure up and continue. And we will tell the new faces who arrive here in the future how they missed working with one of the greats and how much we miss working with Ed.
One of the things that I learned working with him on a day-to-day basis was the passion that he had, not only for the game, but for the individual players.
He was a true professional, a guy who I knew loved his job, loved coming to work every day, having a chance to be around the people that he was around. Always felt like he was on a journey with us as a team. Always felt like he took a lot of pride in his job and really valued the relationships around the building. I certainly valued my relationship with him.
I think he was just such a treasure of information, you know, about sports and about sports in New Orleans in particular. You know, he covered a lot of big events, and yet I think his love for high school sports and particularly high school football was pretty evident.
Look, I think he was a big part of not just the Saints, but the sports community in the New Orleans metro area.
With sons playing high school football and grandsons playing high school football, Ed was just the best. Just a super guy. He was great at what he did. I told another group, nobody can duplicate what he and JT have done on Friday Night Football.
From game show host to news anchor to sports anchor to reporter to starting an iconic brand on Friday nights, which is 32 years running. I don't know that you can possibly top that. I don't think anybody in the market, frankly, can.
Yeah, I've been blessed to know Ed as a player and as a coach. We spent time, interviews in both capacities, and it's a blessing. He's a giant in the world of sports, and to get to know him on a personal level was really great for me, just to know it's bigger than sports. To him, he wanted to know who you were as a person, and his impact on our sports and high school prep scene is just monumental. Anybody who knows or spent time with him knows that he's been a giant in this game. Yeah, I remember being a player and as a coach, running home on Friday nights just to catch the show. We've all watched the show every Friday night, and watching him move over to the other sports and basketball and being on there, I'm looking for myself even as a coach. And it's just done, the things it's done for kids who may have never been on TV, never had a chance to have their talent showcased in such a big way. I know it means so much to them and all of the families. He's highlighted so many student athletes, not just on the high school level, on the college and pro level as well, that just put them on another platform. To be a part of this, to knowing that I've known Ed for the time I've known him as a young player to now, and to be part of this, to honor him and his family, I just want to say thank you, especially to his family, for giving us an opportunity to share Ed with them. You know, Ed has been all over the state, and he's produced numbers of hours away from his family, and I want to say thank you to the family for giving us the opportunity to share him in the light that we shared him. And this is amazing, and I'm glad to be a part of it.
Well, his impact was tremendous. The little kid, not just necessarily the Division I 5-star athlete. He was there for everybody. He was a great man. He was friendly. He would talk to anybody, and he was always at the playgrounds, always at the fields, always in the gym. We're going to miss him very much, and you know, it's an honor for me to talk about him, but it's also an honor for my Kenner Discovery School to be able to play on his field as our home football field, and occasionally some soccer games. But it's an honor for us to be able to do that.
Athletic Director of Kenner Discovery. Join us under the scoreboard to unveil our lasting tribute. Ladies and
To conclude our program, I now introduce Councilman George Brannigan.
Thank you, Charles. We would like to thank everyone for being here tonight for this important event. Being able to give recognition to an icon in our community is so rewarding. A guy that basically put high school football and all athletics in Louisiana on the map 33 years ago is incredible. What Ed Daniels did with his dream of Friday night football, making it a reality, naming this field after him, is so deserving for Ed and the Daniels family. Also, the executives in the past at WGNO that gave Ed the go-ahead for the Friday night football show should also be recognized for bringing Ed's vision to life. Everyone who worked with Ed developing the program, the masterpiece, Friday night football, we thank you too. I also thank J.T. Curtis and Richie Mills for continuing the tradition of Friday night football so that we can continue to enjoy it and have these young athletes look to see if they're on the screen at 11 o'clock on Friday nights. As everyone knows, Ed was a great guy, a family man. He had roots in Kenner. As we watched the hundreds of tributes for Ed over the last several weeks, we know how fortunate it was to have Ed, a Kenner resident, and get to know him. He was the light at the end of the tunnel, positive impact that he had on everyone that he crossed paths with. Being there for his family, friends, coaches, and young athletes what separated Ed from everyone else. He wasn't just a reporter, he cared about his profession, and it showed in his actions. You know, when you love your job, it's said that you'll never work a day in your life. We know that Ed Daniels loved his job, but he also worked a hell of a lot of days in his life. All of the city of Kenner, we are proud and honored to have this field named after the legendary Ed Daniels. Ed Daniels Field at Muss Bertolino Playground is very close to my heart, and deserving for Ed and the Daniels family. They will always be able to come here and feel Ed's presence. Please show recognition for Ed Daniels for what he gave to us, a lifetime of sports coverage in a very unique way. Ed, I know you're up there looking down. You stopped the rain, and we want you to know that these lights are in honor of you. Robin, we love you, and the Daniels family. Thank you for sharing Ed with us.
Thank you for coming out early, being a part of this presentation. Teams, good luck tonight. Let's kick it off.